Got to give the people what they want. All right, I'm going to try to make this one not too long for you all. 4.3 prep part 2, finding the missing angles in a triangle, a right triangle. So, to find the missing angle, I need you to follow these steps. 1. Label each side of that triangle, adjacent, opposite, or hypotenuse. All right. Decide which trig function you need to use in comparison to which sides of the triangles that you have. Then you're going to go ahead and set up the initial equation, putting in all the information that you know. And then you're going to solve that equation using trig inverses. So you'll be like, yo, Bass, what's a trig inverse? So trig inverses, they're like the thing that undoes a trig function, right? Like all of the inverses that we've had, they always undo the thing that they're the inverse to. So the first one is called arcsine. It looks like a sine to the -1. That's the inverse of sine. It undoes sine. The second one is called arc cosine. Cosine to the -1. That is the inverse of cosine. It undoes cosine. And the third one is called arctangent, or arctangent, which is tangent to the -1, and that is the inverse of tangent. All right, so we got that information. Let's do something. Do me a favor. Draw this triangle, please. All right, and I put this picture of the calculator here because I'm going to point out some stuff on your calculators. So you drew this triangle. Step 1 says label each side of the triangle. So let's see. If we are looking for theta, and we're trying to find this angle for theta, right? So in comparison to theta, this is the hypotenuse. This is the opposite. And this is the adjacent. So that's step 1. So now I'm thinking, okay, so toa. What do I have? I have a hypotenuse and I have an adjacent. Those are the two that I know. Which one talks about hypotenuse and adjacent? You should be like, oh, that's a cosine. Okay? So right now I'm thinking, all right, I got this. Cosine of theta, I don't know what that theta is, equals adjacent 3.6 over hypotenuse 9.6. Okay? Now, all we're trying to do is solve for theta. So this is where right now you're going to take out your calculator on your phone. All right? So now, if you hit, let me hit this right here. Now I want this, and I want it to be in white. If you hit the second button, right, so it ends up being gray, you'll notice that the sine, cosine, and tangent buttons now look like this. They see sine the -1, cosine -1, and tangent -1. Okay? Those are the inverses of sine, cosine, and tangent. So now I'm just going to do algebra. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to say, let's get this back to black. So the cosine of theta equals, let's do, we can do 3.6 divided by 9.6. Go ahead and do that in your calculator right now. So you should have got 0.375. Now I need to get theta by itself. So how do I get rid of cosine? Well, I am going to do, I'm just going to move this over a little bit. I'm going to do the inverse of cosine. So I'm going to do cosine to the -1 here. And I'm going to do cosine to the -1 here. That's the arc cosine. These cancel out. I'm left with theta equals, now then you go ahead and hit this arc cosine button. Again, that's this button right here. Hit that arc cosine button on your calculator and then hit 0.375. So let me go ahead and do that as well. You're doing it in front of me. So arc cosine, and in your calculator it says ACOS and 0.375. Boom, boom. It tells you that this is a 67.97 degree angle. Again, this is an angle measurement. So theta, this is how many degrees that angle is in, okay? Boom, boom, boom. Now you're going to try one. Ooh, clear that. Hope it's wrong. Clear. Boom, 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 boom. All right. Now you're going to try one. So why don't you go ahead and draw this triangle, label all the sides, set up the equation, and try to solve it. Why don't you try to do that before I do it? Cool. You paused it. You tried it. So you're like, okay, we are looking for theta here. So in comparison to this is the hypotenuse. This is opposite, right? I know it's the hypotenuse because it's across. And this is adjacent. So I look like I have an opposite and adjacent. Which one does opposite and adjacent? Opposite, adjacent, that looks like tangent. So the tangent of theta equals the opposite 5 over the adjacent, which is 11. Boom. Now I'm going to take 5/11ths, see what that is. I'm going to start solving this. 5 divided by 11, no. 5 divided by 11 is 0.45 repeating, 0.4545 repeating. So the tangent of theta equals 0.45 repeating. Now I got to get theta by itself. So I'm going to undo tangent. Tangent, -1. I'm going to do the tangent, -1. Same thing on both sides. Cancel. Theta equals, let's see, tangent, let's clear this thing out. Tangent -1.45454545. I just put a bunch of them in there. And I got 24.44 degrees. So theta is about a 24.44 degree angle. Which makes sense if you look at, right? If I look at this angle, it's not very big, right? So if I was looking at it like this, right, this would be 90-degree angle. This would be like a 45-degree angle. So 24.45, that makes sense. All right, last one. Do number 3. Go ahead and do it right now. Do it before I do it. Cool. So you did it. So let's see. This is hypot. Theta is here. So this is opposite. This is adjacent. Okay. I need the hypotenuse and the opposite. Sine. Opposite over hypotenuse. So the sine of theta equals the opposite 3 over the hypotenuse 6. Ooh, that's 1/2. I know that. Sine of theta equals 0.5. And let's go ahead and arc sine this thing. Ooh, wrong. Sine -1. Y'all cancel. Sine -1. Boom, boom. I'm left with theta equals, I don't know what that is. Let's see. Sine -1, arc sine of 0.5. 30. That is a 30-degree angle. Theta is a 30-degree angle. Boom. That's what you need for the weekend. This is going to get posted on Saturday. Good looks. We will see you all on Tuesday. Have a great long weekend.